What's up, everybody? I'm Dylan,
And I'm Julia, and welcome to SEC at Home.
where we invite you into our home and we talk SEC college football.
And today we've got the end of week 5.
Reactions to week 5. Good for some,
Bad for others.
and some fans are irate, and some teams decided to fire their head coach. We'll talk about it.
And some people screamed so loud their neighbors should have come fussing at them.
It was a long weekend for some.
Oh.
But before we get into it, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and share with a
Comment.
friend, comment, all the algorithm things. Get the show out there, guys. Come on, we're trying to hit 50 subscribers so we can go live, and then it's going to get really fun.
Yes.
But week 5 in the books.
Yeah. Definitely very interesting.
I think we're finally rounding out these teams, and these teams are discovering their identities, who they are, what they are. I think we're
getting in that groove.
Yeah,
of the season.
And I think that the race for the ACC title game is becoming a little bit more clear, but it's really still anybody's game.
It is up for grabs, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of teams that are coming out of what feels like nowhere.
Yeah,
and still think it's anybody's game.
Yeah, and there's some teams that if they can get past like 1 or 2 games on their schedule, like it's going to be really interesting to see how it shakes out. But this is our reaction video. We're reacting to the games of week 5. We'll get into all the predicting SEC titles. I think we're going to redo our predictions after week 6, between week 6 and week 7. We haven't really talked about it much.
Redoing mine.
You're not going to redo yours?
I'm sticking with mine.
Well, you're going to have a week to think about it. But first game up on this show, if you watched us for a while, you know that we talk about the cupcake games first. We are finally starting to get lower cupcakes. Lower cupcake games, but still have cupcake games. I think we have at least one more we have to talk about coming up. Yes. But anyway, Vandy 55, Utah State 35. Vandy got the job done.
Yeah, we knew they would. We knew they would.
But if you're not Arkansas, I think it's pretty safe to say the SEC is going to rout the cupcakes. Vandy got the job done. Really, really curious for next week, though.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot to watch. It's going to be a great game.
That game's going to be way more interesting than what I think that people gave it credit for, especially after last year. But great job, Vandy. You got the job done. We're super proud of you. Keep it going. Undefeated.
I know, undefeated. I'm interested to see if they can continue.
Can they continue with it?
They really only, and I know I set the bar real low, but you set the bar real low.
You set the bar low for Vandy.
You set the bar low just so that way then they can surpass all your expectations.
Exactly.
Well, they only have one more game to win to make a bowl game.
Yeah, which is
one more. That's it. Now I think they'll probably get 9 wins this year.
Oh,
maybe 8.
I think 9's reasonable right now, honestly. Like the way they're playing, if Pavia continues to play like he has, that's the key. Like there's a lot of question marks with QBs this year about sustainability with them, how they're running the ball.
Right.
Because if Pavia gets injured, they don't really have anything else on offense.
So what will happen to them if that happens? Let's hope that doesn't happen.
We're going to hope that doesn't happen, but it might be a long season for Vandy fans if that happens. But for right now, anchor down and keep doing what you're doing.
And Mizzou played UMass this weekend, and Mizzou beat the brakes off UMass 42-6. We knew that would happen.
Yeah, that's not surprising. No. Missouri is finally this week coming out of that under the radar. They are finally getting some national attention. They are finally getting recognition, and they deserve it. Going to be really interesting to see them in ACC play coming up.
It will be very interesting because I've always kind of considered Mizzou to be that midline.
Oh yeah, they've always
midline
been
SEC team.
Yeah, they've always been like
kind of average
tier.
We've talked about this before too.
Once in a while, they'll catch. Like I know early on when they came to the ACC, when the ACC East was down, when Georgia and Florida weren't doing so hot, they had some ACC championship appearances. Great for them, but they've always been like that mid-tier team in the SEC. Great to see them really
emerge from that.
competing.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I feel like they're having a great year.
Oh, they are. They really are. Great, good job, Mizzou. Just keep it up, man.
Maybe. I mean, who
Yeah,
knows?
who knows? Who knows
We'll
what the
see.
future
We'll see where
holds?
they end up.
All right. We got to talk about it. The next game up is Notre Dame 56, Arkansas 13. I watched this game. This game did not go at all. If you watched our prediction video, this game did not go at all how I thought it was. I thought Arkansas was going to come out and play hot, play fast, play with their hair on fire. They were going to give a performance. They were going to show that they're better than what happened against Memphis. And Notre Dame just came in there and whipped them.
Well,
for lack of a better term.
I'm going to take advantage of this one game. This was the only game I think I picked right. All besides cupcakes, this was the only one I picked right. I'm going to take this opportunity to say I told you so.
Yeah.
I knew Notre Dame was going to go in and beat breaks off Arkansas because I think Sam Pittman had gotten complacent. That's a whole other thing. I think that he was doing great for the program, but I also think that they were probably sick and tired of, good enough being good enough.
And unless you live underneath a rock, you should know that Sam Pittman did ultimately get fired. They decided to go a different direction.
That actually really surprised me. I mean, this is going to be an unpopular opinion. But it really just surprised me because I feel like Sam Pittman and Arkansas were like, they're family members that, you're loyal to because they're family. You love them. And, they may not always do right by you, but you're going to be loyal to them. But so it really surprised me to see that Sam Pittman, after, being there for several years, he's had several years to do well with that program, and for them to just fire him in the middle of the season, that really caught me off guard.
Yeah, this has been coming for a while. Like Sam Pittman, like I said in the prediction video, Sam Pittman always has like that one game that saves his job, and he just didn't have it this year. No. The Memphis loss looked really bad, and then getting routed by Notre Dame at home is not the way you want it to go. I love Sam Pittman. He's a great guy. Ultimately, I don't know if he's head coach material. He was a great. I don't know if people really remember this, but he wasn't actually a coordinator going from a coordinator job to a head coaching job. He didn't really make that step from just being somebody on the staff because he was offensive line coach at Georgia.
Right.
Now, granted, he's a really good offensive line coach, but it would have been better to see his progression a little bit better.
Have one more stepping stone.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he did coordinate anywhere. I'm not sure of his history prior to the Georgia, because I just remember seeing him being hired from Georgia. Like, why are they hiring the offensive line coach? I had to do some research on that, but it did kind of surprise me.
Well, and here's my follow-up question is, will he retire or will he go coach somewhere else? Will he be a coordinator somewhere? Would he be a candidate? I think there's a lot of obvious no's here. Would he be a candidate to take Billy Napier's job at the end of the season?
No.
And I'll tell you why we can already go ahead and say no to that is because they're going to Florida if they choose to buy out his Napier's contract. They're going to want somebody with guaranteed success.
They're going to want somebody with guaranteed
success. Pittman couldn't do it at Arkansas. What's he going to do at Florida?
Not sure what Florida's deal is. I don't know why they're dragging their feet on that. I realize it's probably the buyout.
Maybe they're waiting to see what Florida will do against Texas.
Maybe. But, we'll see. I mean, that job search, like, just from what I've seen from people, that job search is ongoing. Like, they've already made the decision, and, like, they're basically actively interviewing for that job at this point.
That must feel wonderful if you're Billy Napier.
Yeah, and he was asked in we can touch on Florida real quick. He was asked in an interview if he will relinquish play calling for the offense, and he has said that he will not.
Because he is still the coach.
But he doesn't need to be doing the play calling. That should be the
Regardless,
offensive coordinator's job.
well, yes, but
I
ultimately,
mean,
they're still paying him to be the head coach, and he can still make decisions over the offensive coordinator.
He can, but as bad as that offense is, I
Well,
don't
I know
think
other
it would
teams
hurt.
whose offense are worse, and they need their head coach to take over the offensive play calling, or maybe they don't. But anyway, and they don't.
Okay, well,
I
that's
digress.
somebody's opinion.
All right. We have next Kentucky and South Carolina.
This game surprised me. I had a horrible picking games this week. I don't remember if I took Kentucky. I think
you picked South Carolina because
I think I picked South Carolina.
I picked Kentucky for one of my good friends.
Yeah, I think I picked South Carolina, but I thought it was going to be a lot closer than what it was. It was.
I expected. I'll agree. I expected it to be a little bit closer. Was I sure that Kentucky was going to win? No. But I was hopeful.
Yeah. They just
for my friend's sake.
I just need to see Kentucky compete. Like they don't look like they're competing. They don't. I mean I don't know what Stoops has done this year, but this
completely different from last year.
Yeah, this is a completely like. I don't know if it's just because the transfers aren't meshing. I don't know what it is, but Kentucky football just doesn't look great this year.
Will Stoops' job be the next one on the line?
I doubt it. Stoops is usually a good 8 to 9 win coach. I compare
Have you
him
seen their record this year?
Yeah, I compare him a lot to what was the dude's name? Mark Richt from Georgia.
Oh yeah.
I compare him and Stoops are kind of in similar ball fields for me. Like, yes, they're going to win you some games, and they may one good year get you to a championship. Maybe Stoops hasn't done it, but there's always that possibility. So yeah, and honestly, if he does get a 9-win season, that might be good enough to get him into the playoffs. So in this conference, so
not this year.
Not this year. No, this year. I don't know. It would take a miracle for them to turn this season around.
I would think it would take a miracle for them to make a bowl game at this point.
With their schedule, probably. It's not. Kentucky fans, you guys tell us. Do you guys are you guys optimistic on this? Because I don't see it.
I'm concerned about Kentucky this
year.
Super
concerned about Kentucky.
And I hate it for them.
Yeah.
I want them to do well.
Yeah, and they're. I just have a bad feeling about this coming up week for them. Yeah. Next game, we got Auburn and Texas A&M. This game was closer than what the score. This game was not as close as the score let on. I realize the score is Auburn's 10, Texas A&M 16, and I know that a lot of Auburn fans are, we only lost by 16. Guys, y'all were 0 for 13 on third down.
You can't win games if you can't convert on third down.
Yeah, they had 52 total rushing yards. I don't know what Auburn's identity is right now. I have no idea. I had assumed that it was Jackson Dart being superhero, but he hasn't superheroed in a while. And they had 177 total yards.
Is he Auburn's supervillain?
I don't think he's a supervillain. I think he's doing all that he can. But 52 rushing yards, that's
pathetic.
That's bad. That's just bad. And like I said in the beginning of the video, like these teams are rounding out, and we're starting to figure out what kind of teams there are, and what their identities are. I have no clue. I've got no idea.
Word to describe Auburn. You ready for this?
What?
And this is something we've talked about with other teams about, regarding sustainability. Inconsistent.
Yeah, they are very inconsistent.
And inconsistent football teams don't win SEC championships.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective, like I said, they had 177 total yards of offense. Texas A&M had 414 total yards of offense.
Yeah,
and they only won by 6 points, but that's mostly due to
I picked A&M on that game
to penalties. This was a really bad penalty game for A&M. It was really bad. It seemed like every other play they were getting a penalty. I know that's not really the case, but that's just how it felt watching it. Hopefully that's something they can get cleaned up. Penalties are going to happen, guys. Luckily, that can be coached out. So we'll see if Elko can get that coached out of them. All in all, really great win for A&M, though. They continue to roll. They continue to be undefeated. The question I have about A&M is, can they sustain it? Because this has happened before. You guys look really good,
and then November hits.
and then end of October, 1st of November hits, and y'all like jump off a cliff. Let's not do that. Let's keep trucking.
Keep the 12th man alive.
I'm really high on A&M. I think that if they can get some things together, if their running game can come together a little bit more, and not them living and dying by big plays, I think that they can be a really good contender.
I think they're easily in the discussion for the SEC championship.
Easily right now.
Do I think they'll make the final game? We'll see how all the cards lay. How they fall.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I can't wait. I can't wait to find out. Like,
speaking of SEC championship and our predictions, now is your turn to say, "I told you so." This is your opportunity. You only get one chance to say it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
LSU, Ole Miss. LSU 14, Ole Miss 24.
Yeah, I watched this game from start to finish. LSU's defense got exposed, and it got exposed in a really bad way. Chandless could do whatever he wanted that game.
Oh, Ole Miss's offense was
Ole Miss's offense
unbelievable.
Yeah,
I knew coming into this season that Ole Miss was going to have a great season.
Oh yeah.
The reason I picked LSU, aside from my little rant about Nussmeier, is because I really just felt like they had a lot going for them.
They really did. And
I'm not saying they don't still have that.
I think it's funny because like we've went from two completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. Like if you watch LSU for the past couple of years, it's been high-powered offense and not a really great defense, and we're going to score 100 points, and you're just not going to be able to catch up. Well, this year is flipped to where it's okay, we're going to play really, really good defense, and we're only going to score just enough to win, and that's how we're going to be. Well, when you go up against a high-powered offense that can score at any given point, I mean, you can play great defense all you want. It doesn't matter. No. Like, if you can't score and keep the game in a certain range, like, it's just over.
Well, and I just think Ole Miss, just outplayed LSU.
Oh, 100%.
I'm just telling you.
Ole Miss
was I wanting my pick to be right? Was I wanting LSU to beat Ole Miss? Well, yes, because I wanted to be right. But Ole Miss deserved to win that game, and they did. Their offense, I was just amazed at their offense.
Yeah, their offense was incredible that game.
Ole Miss, another good contender for the SEC
championship. I would not want to see Ole Miss on the other side of the sideline if I was in the SEC right now, just because of how they're playing, and
especially at home.
Yeah, at home.
Look and see what other SEC teams play them at
home. I don't know of at home. I do know that they have at least one real tough road game. But other than that, I don't know if anybody that's gonna stand to that. I mean, I really don't. I don't see a defense that I'm just like, oh yeah, they can go toe to toe with Ole Miss. I don't see it. Maybe Oklahoma. Maybe.
One thing I will say is if whatever teams Ole Miss has to play the rest of the season, you better make sure your defense is.
Oh yeah, defense is gonna have. Yeah, defense is gonna have to be.
Beating Ole Miss.
Yeah, like I said,
have a high-powered defense.
The only defense that I'd be like, okay, maybe could do it is Oklahoma's, and that's just because Oklahoma just looks like it's got a bunch of freaks and can do whatever it needs to do on defense. Maybe Oklahoma, and I'm not even.
Play?
I'm not sure.
We'll look at that.
We'll have to
let
look
us know in the comments if you.
Yeah, if they play, let us know and let us know where. All right.
What we got next?
This was the game of the week. It was the game of the week, and we were both wrong. Surprisingly wrong. Really surprisingly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama 24, Georgia 21.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. Can I say it?
Go for it. Go for it.
Alabama deserved to win that game.
Yeah. Because Georgia had every opportunity to take that game away from Alabama, and they did not.
I mean, I was talking with some people today about this at lunch. I think about the play where the Georgia player jumped on the pile.
Yeah.
And there was going to be a penalty called
there
on
was
Alabama.
A penalty
there was a penalty
called
on Alabama.
No, it was called on Georgia.
Well, but what it was is
they didn't get
to stop. They didn't get the first down.
They didn't get the first down.
But because the Georgia player jumped on the pile, that caused them
to
the penalty and then get the first down.
Well, I say that we don't exactly know where they were going to mark the ball because they got the penalty. It didn't look. It looked like the whistle blew before he crossed the line to gain. So,
and I think that player had a lot of adrenaline going. I don't think he was actually thinking. But there's there was things like that in the game. Well, just very simple mistakes.
Yeah,
coaching,
I mean,
and players who couldn't stay on their feet.
Yeah, there was a bunch of things. Like Georgia had every opportunity to take this game. They had the drop pass that would have put them up. Dude was wide open. The ball hit his hands, and he dropped it. And which Alabama had one earlier with Ryan Williams, so that kind of evened out. The thing to talk about, and if you watch Kirby Smart's post-game interview, which I did because I was curious to see what he would have to say about it, because we knew he was going to be asked. The questionable fourth down. He goes tempo. He runs a play that in their playbook they feel like is a guaranteed 1 yard, and they miss a block and they don't get it.
There's one thing they didn't take into account there in the guaranteed 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Staying on your feet.
Yeah, getting the block.
He was pulled by a Bama player, but you got to stay on your feet. He tried. Go ahead.
He tried. Look, if you watch the show, I talk about fourth down. I've talked about this before. I am all for being aggressive until it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And in this case, I realized that it was predetermined, and Kirby Smart and what's their offensive coordinator, Bubba. Mm-hmm. They talked about it. They said if we get anything on third down, we're gonna go for it. They got all the way to 4th and 1. They went tempo. They felt like tempo was gonna work. They felt like they could get the first down. This is probably one rare case where I'm probably kicking the field goal. I'm not trying to be aggressive. I think that sends this game into overtime at the worst, because by the second half, Georgia's defense had kind of gotten some rhythm. And, I mean, Alabama didn't score any in the second half at all. All their points came from the first half.
So I interrupted you earlier before you could finish your thought about how Kirby was talking about in the interview. He said that he would take that 4th and 1. He would go for it again and again. Like he doesn't regret it.
He said 10 out of 10 times he would go for it.
Here's my issue with that. This was a 3-point game.
Yep.
You're telling me that you don't regret kicking the field goal that would allow your team to tie the game, which then would send you into overtime? Like, you're telling me you don't regret. So there's just I get sticking to your decisions. I get that, but there's just a little red flag there for me.
Well,
that bothered me.
And look, guys, hindsight's 20/20. In the heat of the moment, you're probably like, "Oh, we'll get the ball back. It's not that big a deal," because there was some time left on the clock.
But he said he would have done it again.
Yeah, he would have.
Hindsight's 20/20. But if you don't learn from your mistakes, go for the field goal, get the points, and move on.
He doesn't feel like it was a mistake. I mean, analytics.
You lost the game.
Analytics would tell you to go for it. I get where he's coming from. I'm just saying, personally, I think kicking the field goals. He's a 2-time national champion head coach. Who am I to? I'm just a simple guy talking football.
Money to win football games. Sam Pittman couldn't win football games in Arkansas, and he got fired.
Sam Pittman doesn't have a national championship.
I don't care. I'm saying if Kirby Smart I mean, if Sam Pittman had done the mess that Kirby Smart did on week 1, he'd have been gone.
Nah, he lost to Memphis and he kept his job. I think that's worse than losing to Alabama.
But to get on an interview and say, the play that cost my team the win.
Well, it wasn't just that play. They had other opportunities. Yeah,
but
but
the play
they
that cost my team the win, I would have done it again.
There was
I would have lost this game again.
There was plenty of time on the clock, and they had other opportunities to win that game.
True.
The other thing that I think, one of the reasons that I say that Kirby, I agree with the fact, and I'll say this: I think that Kirby Smart lost that game, and he said that it was on his coaching staff. Like he said, the kids got to play better, but ultimately it's on his coaching staff to make better decisions. One of the things that, and if you watch the game, Kirk Herbstreit talked about this, is his use of timeouts. Yeah, and I don't understand why he was calling timeouts before the 2-minute timeout. I don't know if that was something interior. I don't know if he saw something, thought something. I don't know. But if he used his timeouts a little bit more strategic, I think that game, I think it's a better opportunity for them.
I need to back up a little bit. I want to make it clear I was not calling for the firing of Kirby Smart. I just think it was a very red flag
It was
decision.
Weird. It was a very odd decision.
And I'm gonna say this because y'all have heard my saga with. We need to make a little series on my saga with Alabama this year. For me to say that Alabama deserved to win this game is a drastic difference to what I was thinking earlier in the year. Alabama, I mean, they had it going.
Yeah,
They outplayed Georgia, outsmarted them.
They outcoached Georgia, and that's something that doesn't happen very often. They were 13 of 19 on third down.
Yeah, I mean, every time you turn around, they were converting on third down.
280 passing yards, and this was the first time I looked it up. I heard somebody say it. I didn't believe them, but first time an opponent had more penalty yards than Alabama under DeBoer.
Can you say that one more time?
The first time an opponent had more penalty yards than Alabama while DeBoer's been head coach.
Very interesting.
The one good thing, if you are a Georgia fan, and a good thing that you have to look forward to, is Georgia's rushing game is immaculate. They had 227 rushing yards in this game.
Pretty good.
Against Alabama. That, if you told me Sunday that, hey, Georgia's going to rush for 227 and Saturday, well, after the game. I'm saying after the game. If I haven't watched the game and you come to me and you're like, hey, Georgia ran for 227 and they scored 21 points, and I'm like, well, if they ran for 227 and they scored 21 points, they probably won that game, in my opinion. But they didn't. They lost by a field goal. The game was close. Simpson, Alabama's quarterback, when he's on.
Yeah.
Like he's true test. And I love that for Alabama and Alabama fans, because he's a guy that stuck around in the age of transfers and NIL. He stuck around. He waited his turn. Same thing can be said for Gunnar Stockton. I think that this was a great game, and I'm not so sure this is the last time we're going to see it. Depending on how the season goes. All right. So
our last one. Tennessee and Mississippi State.
Well, the last one in the SEC.
Yeah, last one in the SEC.
Yeah, and then we're going to talk about the mystery game of the week from last week. But this game went into overtime, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Overtime. Tennessee 41, Mississippi State 34.
I remember, because this game was on while Georgia was playing, I believe, and we were checking scores, or maybe it was finishing. It was finishing up when the Georgia.
A little bit of it.
Yeah.
It was in between all the.
Yeah, all the hoopla.
I am surprised in a couple of different ways about this game. I'm surprised that Mississippi State played as well as they did to keep up with Tennessee, but I'm also surprised that Tennessee couldn't create a bigger point difference between them and Mississippi State.
Yeah, it was definitely. I remember seeing it like throughout the day, checking the scores, and I remember like Mississippi State's leading, Tennessee tied it up. Mississippi State's leading, Tennessee tied it
It
up.
turned into a shootout.
It really did. It turned into one of those blow shootout games, and Tennessee just outlasted them. Kind of similar to what Georgia did to them. They just wouldn't go away, and they finally got the lead, which is good to see that they can win that style game. The question is how well does Tennessee travel? Because this game was at Mississippi State, and
maybe that could be one of the reasons why they had a little bit of a harder time.
Yeah, it's very possible. I don't know how well Tennessee travels. It's great that they got the win, but if they're going to struggle like that on the road, it might be a long season for them.
Well, here's my thing. Tennessee, Georgia. Tennessee deserved to win against Georgia.
Oh, 100%.
And in a perfect world, they win that Georgia game because they deserved to win it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're undefeated. In a perfect world.
In a perfect world.
They're not undefeated. But in a perfect world, they're undefeated. And, I would still like to consider Tennessee as maybe an SEC championship contender.
Yeah, they definitely are. Like, nobody's out of the race. I'm curious to see, like, at the end of the season, like, how it all shakes out. One of the things that I told you on Saturday, I believe, was and we know what happens, but what happens if we get to the end of the year and all these SEC teams that only have one loss?
Chaos.
Yeah, total chaos. Like, I don't think that's going to happen because, I mean, it's cannibalistic here in this conference, and a lot of teams play each other. So I don't think it's going to happen. But if it did, the insanity that it would cause, like, I remember last year, one of the reasons Georgia got into the SEC title game is because they lost to Alabama. They beat Tennessee. Tennessee beat Alabama. So you had that three-way tie of like, well, I beat you, but he beat that guy, and I lost to that guy. So, what happens now? Obviously, there were more losses and lots of other things that happened in that. And if you don't know what happens, if there is a tie like that, the two highest ranked in the poll will go to the SEC title game. That's how that would shake out.
I think what we're looking at right now is I'm going to name them. I don't know how many. I'll count them as I go. The teams in the SEC that I think, still have the possibility of going to the SEC championship. Obviously, we have the ones that are not going. Florida.
Florida. Arkansas.
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
So sorry, Kentucky. The ones I think that have a great shot are Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss. I think Oklahoma still has a good chance.
Oklahoma has a really good chance.
I'm not favoring them over A&M and Ole Miss. Okay, let's see. Let me go back. Let me try and count again. LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama. I don't think Auburn gets in. A&M. Did I already count them?
I think.
I'm not putting Texas in the mix here.
I want to see Texas in the SEC play before. I want to see Manning go on the road in the SEC and get that signature win that all SEC quarterbacks have to have. Like Alabama Simmons got his at Georgia. Gunnar Stockton's got his at Alabama, or Gunnar Stockton got his at Tennessee. Joey Aguilar got his at Mississippi State. So we gotta see Manning get one.
I think the other three teams would be Georgia, Tennessee, and Vandy.
See, I think that those teams are like your wild cards in this, like, because I really think the two favorites right now are probably, not to knock what you said, but I think the two favorites would probably be Ole Miss and Oklahoma.
I think Ole Miss and Alabama.
It's possible. It's very possible.
I might be changing my prediction.
I
don't want to. I don't want to. I'm picking LSU, Tennessee, or LSU, Georgia. Those were my two scenarios.
You have a week to think of. We'll talk about that more next week. Don't want to get any predictions in this one. This is reactions. And
I'm just saying.
we have one more game to talk about that is outside the SEC. If you don't know, on our prediction video,
You picked last week.
Yeah, I did. We pick one game out of the SEC that we want to talk about, and I picked Oregon at Penn State. And if you are an Oregon and Penn State fan, welcome. We are a SEC show, but we will take any views from anybody, even if you're Big Ten. Oregon won this game.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either. I'm surprised at how it went. Overtimes and all the hoopla and all this other kind of stuff. James Franklin, and if you don't know who I'm talking about, that is Penn State's head coach. I think that this game really clears up the whole stereotypical thing that we see with him, is that he can't win the big games. If he was going to win a big game, this had to be it. Yeah. Like it had to be. I talked about this in the prediction video. Dan Lanning doesn't have anything to prove. Dan Lanning's won the Big Ten. He's made it to the playoff. He's probably going to be a playoff team forever. His team is traveling all the way across the coast to play these games, and like jumping 3 or 4 time zones, and they're winning these games, which is incredible for how, just shows you what Dan Lanning can do at a program. The question becomes for Penn State and Penn State fans, are you okay with winning 10 games a year and making it to the playoffs? And once in a while making it to the Big Ten championship game, which they did last year. But are you okay with that? And that's it. Not making it any further, because I know some Penn State fans feel like you're supposed to be a national championship contender. I don't see it with James Franklin. It's a proven commodity. He doesn't win the games that and you can call. I wouldn't call him overrated. I feel like he's perfectly rated. Like, he wins the games he's supposed to win. He loses the games he's supposed to lose. Like, that's just the way it is. And it's sad that it's like that, but
Oregon was the better team.
Oregon was the better team. Now, it shows that the fight and everything, but Penn State's got to stop playing Timmy football. They're not going to win playing Timmy football. They're not going to win the way their offense runs. They're not going to win the way their defense runs.
But they're still going to be.
They're going to be there.
High.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to be ranked high, just because.
But do they deserve to be?
I mean, you win 10 games in the Big Ten. I mean, I guess. I'm not getting into the whole debate between the Big Ten and the SEC. This is an SEC show. I'm a biased, so you don't want my opinion on that. I heard a guy the other day comparing that, said that that if Michigan was in the SEC, they'd be the best team in the SEC. And I highly disagree with that, on the simple fact that they lost to Oklahoma. And then the guy he was arguing with, he rebutted that, and he said, we're a totally different team. That game happened like a week and a half ago, buddy. 2 weeks. Not even. You can't change. You can't change your whole team, your whole identity in that amount of time. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. But yeah, I digress. This is a SEC show. I don't want to get into it. If you're a Big Ten fan, you are most welcome here, but we talk SEC football.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
That wraps up week 5.
That wraps up reactions from week 5. Biggest takeaway?
If you're a coach, make good decisions.
Yeah.
Arkansas, or you get fired.
Arkansas's head coaching search is happening. That shocked me when I found out about it. Who in their interim? Bobby Petrino.
Is their interim?
Don't get me started.
I heard now. This is not credible, so don't quote me on this. Go do your own research. I heard he was cleaning house in the defensive part of his coaching.
Yeah, I heard that that his name is in the hat for the head coach. And after what happened last time he was the head coach at Arkansas, I hope that they don't do that, because that scandal nearly ruined them. So let's not do that, Arkansas. Let's actually think.
But he's the interim.
Yeah, I know, but let's hope he doesn't become permanent.
I'm sure he will.
After the scandal, you probably don't know nothing about it. You need to go research it. She's gonna have a different mindset next week, I promise.
I'm not saying that he should. I'm just saying
I hope he doesn't.
9 times out of 10, when they hire somebody as interim, they're probably, well, I'm going to back it up and say 6 times out of 10.
Yeah.
When someone is hired as an interim position, usually end up being,
Oh, I hope not.
especially
I
in
hope
coaching.
Petrino no.
Now, what I mean, maybe they just put him as interim because this was a Saturday night midnight decision of let's fire Sam Pittman.
Yeah, they
Someone
had
said, "How do you get fired on your day off?"
yeah, they had to have a head coach.
They did have to have
And
one.
I get that Petrino's probably their best option because he's done it and he's done it there. But after everything that went down with the scandal, I really hope that he's not permanent, and I hope that Arkansas takes that into account in the hiring process. But we'll see. When we get a definitive answer, we can talk about it. And when we hear the final word on Napier, we will talk about that as well, which that's coming probably sooner rather than later. I mean, Florida might drag their feet to the end of the year, but it's happening, and I don't know if he's going to be able to say. I highly doubt he'll be able to save his job like he did last year because of the way Lagway's playing. But that's our show.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Like, subscribe, comment,
all the things.
Share, do everything.
Get us to 50 so we can go live because those shows are going to be way more intense, I guess is the word.
You never know what'll happen.
You don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be happy because I won't have to edit as much. Thanks so much for watching. God bless. Peace.